Alright, let's do some more. Actually, before we start real quick, let me just quickly do something. Sorry, I forgot to do one thing that I need to do to fix this. Right, there we go. Right, now let's do some Final Fantasy XVI for a little bit. So I haven't played this in a little while. I've been looking forward to resuming it. But yeah, the last time we played this, some fun things happened. We basically destroyed a fucking gigantic stone monster thing, so that was cool. Then we did a bunch of side stuff. So now I guess we're just going to push forward with the story for now and see where that leads.
Clive, you're back.
I am. And with glad tidings for once. Hugo Kupka is no more.
Well, I'll be. All of our comrades who lost their lives back at Sid's place be smiling down at you right now.
We had a Stolus from Lubor saying Drake's fang had fallen. I expect that was your doing as well, was it?
It's a long story.
One for the history books, I'll bet.
Welcome home, Clive.
It's good to be back. You look better.
I feel it. Which means I'm coming on your next little adventure. You're not leaving me behind again.
Wouldn't dream of it. I'll tell you.
Alright, that's cool.
Any word on the Royalist movements since I've been away?
Shouldn't you be putting your feet up? If you really want to know, go and have a word with Vivian.
Thank you. I will.
Right, so since she's joining along, like Jill, I guess that means there may be potential for Torgal to unleash his power in the next mission. I guess we'll find out in due time.
Ah, the conquering hero returns. And with hardly a scratch on him.
I may have picked up one or two.
Well, the fact that you came straight to me instead of visiting our resident physiker suggests that you picked up something more important. A scent. The scent of Waludas.
The very same.
Waluders.
Whatever plans Kupka was hatching with the Royalists, he took them to his grave, as did his men, slaughtered by the orcs who'd taken over the Fang. Orcs, Vivian. I've never seen such creatures in Storm before. The Waludas must have ferried them over from Ash, but why? Why work to rescue Kupka only to invade his home, the mother crystal of an allied nation, and let both fall? It makes no sense.
Do you know the tale of the blind men and the Adamantus? One can often be led astray by focusing too closely on individual details. One must instead see the bigger picture. And what bigger picture is there than my map? The Kingdom of Waloed claims dominion over all of Ash. It is a nation forged by the bloody conquest of Barnabas Tharm, the dominant of Odin. The Canvarian War of Independence in 849. The Battle of the Twin Realms in 865. The Battle of Belinus Tor in 873. Wheresoever his armies fought, Odin was found where the fighting was fiercest. But of late, the warrior king appears to have laid his sword to rest. Battle rages for control of the crystalline dominion. Yet Tharm sends not a single ship in support of his Dhalmekian allies. Meanwhile, the Blight ravages great swathes of Ash. Yet warlike Waloed shows not the faintest interest in laying claim to untouched lands. So why go to the trouble of sending an army of orcs into the heart of Drake's Fang? Only to make no attempt to claim the Mother Crystal for Waloed. It can hardly be for lack of men. Tharm's armies rival any in the Twins. No. we have not seen the last of the Waloed standard. Odin will ride again. It is but a question of when. And on that day, who will be trampled underfoot? In summary, I know not to what end the Royalists betrayed Kupka. I know only that it is part of some broader scheme. A scheme tied to the ambitions of one man.
King Barnabas.
But there is no need to wallow in confusion. If one is to cure a sickness, one must first identify the symptoms. And your Lord Uncle has volunteered to do just that by keeping an eye on the Royalists' movements.
He's really throwing himself into this.
Indeed he is. Which means all that remains for us to do is await his reports. Well, not quite all in your case. The people of the Hideaway must hear the news. Justice has been done. Hugo Kupka is dead. The wounds he left that night are still raw. Especially for those who lived with Sid the longest. Tell them that those wounds might finally begin to heal. Consider it the price of today's instruction.
I've never known you to be sentimental.
What can I say? I am only human. And we are, all of us, sentimental animals at heart.
I suppose we are. Very well. I'll go and spread the word.
All right. Did I get all my equipment ready? Let's see. Yeah, I got everything stocked up.
Well, someone looks pleased with himself. It's true what I'm hearing, then.
Nothing escapes you, Lady Karen. It's true. Kupka is dead.
No more looking over our shoulders, then. Good. I'm starting to get a crick in my neck. Don't let it go to your head, though.
So we're just going around telling people about his death? Okay.
Blackthorn, do you have a moment?
What is it? I'm busy.
I wanted to tell you that Hugo Kupka is dead.
I can't tell you how long I've been waiting to hear those words. This is it then. A new beginning under a new Sid.
I'll try to live up to the name.
And then finally you.
Ah, Clive. Have you come seeking the gift of knowledge?
No. To share mine, actually. Hugo Kupka is dead.
Oh my. Can it really be true?
Look, he's crying. He is. The big baby.
And with good reason, children. These are tears of joy. We must offer up a prayer to your parents that the heavens might weep with us. There shall be no lessons today, only thanksgiving and merrymaking. Go, put away your things.
All right. Brilliant.
Brilliant!
Finally, a new dawn has broken.
It has.
Thank you, Clive. I cannot wait to share the good news.
Hippocrates. After Kupka fell, Ultima came to me. I need to know what he is. Have you learned anything?
Alas, no. And not for want of trying. I have scoured nigh every historical tome in our collection and found nothing. Not even the sort of conspicuous absence that might suggest a concealment of fact. One is almost tempted to conclude that such a creature never existed.
But I saw him. With my own eyes.
I don't doubt that you did. Alas, it seems you are the only one who has. To others, he reveals naught. We see only that which he leaves in his wake, like some terrible force of nature beyond the ken of mortal man.
A bringer of death.
Whether the Ultima you met with was the being itself, or merely another projection of its power, I know not. But until I do, my investigations shall continue.
Thank you. It means a lot. Right. Let's see if Otto has anything else for me.
Ooh, there's some performance hiccups going on there.
Thanks to Sid, the man.
I'm telling you, it's true. I heard it from Otto's own lips.
Okay. Right.
You barely sat down since you came home. Vivian got you running errands or something?
Just spreading the word.
Well, it seems like everybody's happy to hear that Hugo Kupka finally died.
So, the Professor's got a soft side, has she? I'd never have guessed.
No. She was right, though. Everyone was glad to hear the news.
Ah, but you ain't told everyone. I can think of plenty of friends back at the old hideaway who'd sleep more peacefully for knowing. Not least of all Sid. You should tell him.
You're right. I should. And I will.
Well, when you do, be sure to take Mid with you. She's been going at it hammering
Okay, thanks,
tools down
PlayStation
that
5.
workshop of hers, trying to do her father proud. I can't remember the last time she visited the old sod's grave.
Very well. I'll suggest it.
Gotta love it when it downloads stuff in the background while I'm trying to like play other games. Over there. My commentary will be a little bit lacking until we actually start playing the game. For now, it's just a lot of going back and forth and advancing the story. But yeah, let's go speak to Mid, who is over... I guess I could have gone that way as well. Ah, well.
It hasn't been.
Over here, I guess.
Editors started reading books that don't have any pictures in.
I think Mid might need some help.
There you are.
Soon. All right, Clive? What do you want?
I'm going to visit Sid, and I thought you might like to come with me.
Sorry, I'm too busy for all that right now. I've got to get this thermal displacement stack sorted.
Thermal...
Displacement stack. Here.
And this is for...
Only the fastest, finest ship the world has ever seen. The Enterprise.
Me and my dad designed it together. Where other vessels rely on the fickle winds to drive them through the water, ours is fitted with mithril engines. And those things have got more push than a behemoth in a bad mood, and more heat than all the hells put together. Which is where the stack comes in. I may have already talked some tight-lipped shipwrights into putting the hull together for me in a little dockyard in Canva. But the stack's a bit more involved, so I'm building it here. Thing is, it's so involved that I'm running behind and it's starting to hold things up over at the shipyard. I'll come and see my dad, though, when I'm done. Whenever that is.
Is there anything I can do to help?
Good old Clive. I were hoping you'd say that. First things first, I need some parts meching. The stack will be made up of 3 major components. There's the plating, here, that channels hot vapors away from the engine. The helm over the top, that disperses all that heat into the air. And the shielding around the sides. That stops the rest of the ship from going up in flames.
A full suit of armor, then. Probably best to take it one piece at a time.
Then you'll need to start with the plating. Everything else fits onto it. I've got the designs and the list of materials here. Show these to Blackthorn. He'll know what to do.
Alright.
I can't make head nor tail of them.
Luckily, you don't need to.
Right, well I guess I'll be spending the next little while helping her build the ship parts then. I could do some monster hunting stuff right now, where I'm like, you know, hunting like targets on that like hunter board. But we did a lot of side stuff the last time, so I'm just gonna like push the story forward for now. Maybe I'll do that toward the end of the stream if I feel like it.
Blackthorn, can I ask a favour?
Out with it.
It's for Mid.
This my last chance to say I'm otherwise engaged. Spare myself the arseache. Go on then. What is it this time?
She said you would know. Here.
Instructions on how to go about building oneself a full set of thermal plating to dissipate heat from a mithril engine. Should one find oneself in need of such a thing. Okay, there you go.
Krieger's Tates. Well, I don't know what the hell you'd want this for, but I can make it. Won't be easy though. And I'll need help. Get Gavin Otto in here, will you?
Right.
I'm glad I don't need to like run to those two to talk to them.
So Mid's roped us all in here again, has she? Typical. Still, if that's what it takes to get her to visit Sid's grave, I'll do what I can.
And, what is it we need to do, exactly?
Take a look at this. It's this plating. The usual sword grade steel won't work. We need something that can get very hot, very fast, and still keep its shape. That means an alloy. Something that won't break or buckle at the temperatures she's talking about. Which is where you lot come in. I need materials, and I've got my work cut out already. You'll have to fetch them. Now, there's a special kind of sand I'm after that you can only find out in the Valcroy. Stardust, they call it. As for the rest of the stuff, my usual supply should have it in stock. It just needs buying and bringing back here.
Well, we'll get it done quicker if we split up. One of us should probably give you an hand collecting the sand.
And the other can go and get the rest from this supplier.
Right then.
Well, make your minds up who's going where, we can get this over with. You going after the Stardust then, are you? Which one of these two lucky souls is going with you?
Gav, I guess.
Gav, you're with me.
All right then. So, where do we find this Stardust stuff?
There's a river that runs through the southern reaches of the Velcroy. It's the black sand that washes up on its banks that you're after.
Southern reaches of the Velcroy, eh? That's down past Dalamil. I'll go and scout the place out. See about hiring us a wagon to bring the stuff back to.
All right. I'll meet you by the river.
While you're off having a paddle, I'll pick up the rest of the stuff from Blackthorn's supply. Take care.
You two, eh? Don't go letting them fleece ya.
Fleece me? I like to see him try.
In your own time.
Alright. Might as well save before we embark. Right, somewhere in that general area, so let's travel here. And let's start looking for it. So yeah, don't expect tonight's session of Final Fantasy XVI to be as good as the last session. I mean, the last session, it was only like the first hour of it that was like really good, and then the rest of it was just kind of like boring side stuff.
Looks like I found the river. Now where's Gav?
But yeah, I think it's going to be a little while before we start seeing like a really good moment in this game again. So I think tonight's just going to be a bit more of a laid-back session that might not even last that long, depends. I'll probably play this for like a couple hours and then I'm going to stop.
Sorry to keep you, Gav.
Better late than never. I've had a quick scout about, and I reckon round here's our best bet if we want to grab as much of this Stardust stuff as we can. Don't know what Blackthorn's planning to do with it, though. I asked over in Dalamil, and they seem to think it was worthless. But if Stardust is what Blackthorn wants, Stardust is what he'll get. There's plenty of this stuff lying about, just begging to be bagged.
Then let's get bagging, shall we?
We shall. Race ya.
Ambrosia, my beloved.
Come on. Fly, Ambrosia. So this is Stardust. It just looks like black sand to me.
Oh. Just gathering some sand, yep. Riveting gameplay after that big boss that we fought the last time. Can't wait to do some more combat. Don't know when that's going to happen, but it will eventually. Yeah, again, my commentary is going to be a little bit lacking tonight. I just finished playing some Ghost Trick for a couple hours. Doing a game like that where there's like a relatively lot of like, you know, text to read out aloud, and I try to like I try to put on voices for some of them, it becomes a little bit of a strain on my throat. In hindsight, I should have done that game second tonight, but it's already done. It's a little bit too late for that. Hence why tonight's session of this might be a little bit lacking, but at least I'm doing some of this. Obviously, I'm not going to have this game finished by the end of this month, like some of my other games I'm trying to finish up, but I will be playing this through September as well, and I don't know if I'll even have it done in September, realistically, because I think I'm only just coming up to the halfway point of the game, I feel like. I don't know how long this game is. But it's a Final Fantasy game, so I imagine it must be like dozens and dozens of hours to get through it. But I'll eventually get this game done. This one's going to be on the docket for a while yet. So don't be too surprised if I don't play it as much. Yeah, don't be too surprised if I don't play this one as much next month. You know, while I'm going to be checking out Starfields, which is going to be another game that may be a big commitment or not. I don't know if I'm even going to like stick with Starfield. It depends on how, you know, the first few streams of that game does for me.
You finished? How much did you get?
Enough. I hope.
Enough!
Oh, you win. That might even be enough for old Blackthorn. Hey, before we go, do you mind if we have a chat? Feels like ages since we had the chance to talk. You know, man to man like.
It does, doesn't it?
Back when you first took Sid's name, we were talking all the time. Working out what to do in that.
There was a lot to work out.
And there still is. Those shoulders of yours starting to feel the strain. Hardly ever see you around the hideaway nowadays. Always on some errand or other. You can take a day off, you know.
Says the man who spends most of his time behind enemy lines.
Only 'cause you keep sending me there.
I know I can count on you, Gav.
Likewise. So you keep sending me wherever you need to, and I'll keep going. Safe in the knowledge that I have a home to come back to. Thanks to you. Right. That's enough soppy shite for one day. We'd better get this lot back to Blackthorn before he slings his hammer at someone.
I like the way he said that.
Ahead. And try to get some rest once you're there.
Oh, I plan to. Believe you me. After Blackthorn gets what he needs, of course.
I do like the way he said that there. Soppy shite. I should use that.
Right. Ready to go home, boy?
Ruh-oh, Raggy. Use your loaf. Let's just go back and get this done real quick.
Let's hope this is all Blackthorn needs.
Well, the side quest is called Letting Off Steam 1, so you can be damn sure this is not all he needs. He's going to ask for something else. Anyway, here's your soppy shite.
Got everything you need?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Cheers for the Stardust. Should be enough to be getting on with.
We should go out on maneuvers together more often. You know, it beats sneaking around on your tud all the time.
I'll make a start on putting this thermal plating together then. It'll take some time, mind. So if you've got other things to be getting on with, I could do without you breathing down my neck.
Thank you, Blackthorn. I'll let Mid know construction's underway.
Alright. Well, that was easy. I got 40 infamy for doing that. And I got a level up, even better. Goblin coin, black blood, and gilbug. Do stuff to sell for money.
Suppose we'd better be getting back to work too.
Give us a shout if you need anything.
You know, considering that side quest required me to pick one of those two people to tag along, I thought we were gonna, like, fight a bunch of enemies together, but I guess not. It was just, oh, let's just walk along the beach and collect sand. Done. Alright, I guess it's this way. No, it's not this way. I keep getting turned around here.
I went up to give some greens to the chocobo.
So yeah, sorry for not a whole lot happening here. Again, this game tends to be like this, where there's just a lot of downtime before the good stuff
I just
happens.
started reading books that don't have any pictures in.
This game has plenty of peaks and valleys in terms of like what's going on in terms of the story.
Come up with something soon.
You'll be pleased to hear that Blackthorn's started work on the plating.
Excellent. 1 down, 2 to go.
So, what's next?
The helm, of course. For this, we'll be repurposing fallen scrap.
Salvage from the ruins? I thought that material was all but impossible to work.
Ah, but we don't have to.
I'm sorry.
Just so happens there's one particular ruin that's broken into exactly the right shape and size pieces for what we need. What's the name back there? I'll give you all the details.
What's her name? Right.
You know, it would be fucking funny if I just walked over there and her name is literally what's her name? Nah, her name is Helena.
Oh, Sid, is this about the helm?
Yes. Mid said I should speak with you.
I'll show you the plans then. Here you see the mithril engine, in which mithril is burned to generate heat. That heat is then harnessed to produce motive force. Excess heat is dealt with by means of the thermal displacement stack, which disperses it into the surrounding air. Now, were we to rely on thermal plating alone to achieve this effect, the rate of excess heat buildup would far exceed the displacement coefficient of the plating. In other words, the reactor would overheat and eventually explode. This is where the helm comes in. It connects to the plating, you see, and serves as a sort of thermal sink to absorb all that excess energy. Our experiments have shown that fallen ceramics are remarkably thermophilic. They can withstand and absorb levels of heat far above anything we are able to make today. And not only that, they're also waterproof and immune to rust, making them the perfect material for our protective hood. Why? If sea or rainwater were to enter the reactor proper, it would vaporize instantly. The forces produced would tear the ship from stern to...
You can stop there. I understand. Mid said we might be able to use parts of...
Yeah, she was kind of getting a little bit off track there, wasn't she?
Ah, yes. It's in Lorbert's Pass, near Lostwing. The thing is, well, I probably should have arranged to have the pieces we need brought here sooner. You see, a certain unwanted visitor has taken up residence there. It's no longer a matter of just walking in and taking them. It's, going to be considerably more dangerous than that.
I see. Then I suppose I'd better deal with this unwanted visitor for you. Would that help?
Oh, very much. Thank you, Sid.
Finally, that
I'll
means
gather
more
my team and
combat.
head there right away. We'll meet you outside the ruins.
No money, but 40 more infamy is nothing to sneeze at. Alright, that's where we need to go. Oops. Wrong button. For great justice. Nope. is it? Ah, it's over here. Kinda hate this area because I need to remember exactly how to, like, leave this place because of the way it's structured. I think it's up those stairs and then out.
The crystals we get from the tailor all...
Like, looking at the map overlay is not enough. You have to know how to, like, get up to the upper floor and then you can leave this area. It's a little bit annoying. The map doesn't do a good job at showing you exactly where you go. But I believe it's out this path that we have to leave to get there.
No use calling Ambrosia now. This is no time to ride.
I guess I can call Ambrosia once I get outside this gate. There we go.
Come on. Run like the wind.
Yeah, I got 2 whole gil. Go me. Yeah, I got 2 more gil. Go me. Seriously though, why such a little amounts of money? You think it would be like 200 gil, but no, it's pretty much just peanuts.
Oh, there you are, Sid. Thanks so much for coming. The, ruins are just over there, as is the creature I told you about, I'd imagine. Would you mind?
Of course. I'll be right back.
Okay. Let's quickly save before we do that.
Anybody home?
I think I see a chest down there on the left. Oh. It's one of these fuckers.
This must be our unwanted visitor. Time to go.
It's that weird monster rancher ass looking thing. Okay, that doesn't work.
Guess we're all ready. Too slow. Nice try.
Shit.
That's better.
I have to be careful. Sorry, I'm a little bit rusty as well. That's obviously not helping. Okay. Oh.
Nice try. To me, boy. I've heard talking.
There. Yeah, a lot of that enemy's attacks could not be blocked, I noticed. Like, you know, the block parry thing that my stone titan thing could do, whatever it was called, I forgot. But yeah, a lot of those could not be blocked properly, so I had to, like, dodge instead. But at least I got it, so... Bloody hide using crafting, and that's using crafting.
The things I do for you, Mid.
Sid! Oh, thank goodness you're safe.
You shouldn't have any trouble now.
Indeed. Well, don't let us keep you. We'll, see that everything is transported safely back to the hideaway.
All right. I'll let Mid know you're on your way.
Alright. Wasn't too bad. Baltimore. Increase the strength tonic duration by 10 seconds. Neat. Don't know if I'll use it, but at least I have that now. Right, back we go. Hopefully once we're done getting the parts for the ship, engine piece, whatever it's called, the thermal engine, then we should be good to like do the next major or like semi-major part of the story.
Well, don't just stand there, go.
I'd like some more. I'd like some of your finest potions, please.
It'd better all be here.
I went up to give some greens to the chocobo.
I swear that NPC says the exact same thing every time I pass him. I'm pretty sure some of the side NPCs that like just randomly say things say the same things as you walk past them.
Editors started reading books that don't have any pictures in.
Yeah, I just realised that, like, the NPCs that passively say things are, like, repeating themselves. Like, the first time it's supposed to be, like, immersive, but then you start to realise, wait a minute, they're all saying the same things.
Mid. Helena has recovered the material for the helm. She'll be along shortly.
Excellent. Another job well done.
And just one remaining.
Right. Right, the shielding. This one's a bit of a bugger.
How so?
The plating's enough to stop the engines going pop, but those things will still be spitting out enough fire to set the rest of the ship ablaze. Which is why you need proper shielding. A prism for the dragon's breath that's blazing away inside. I thought a triple thick layer of tempered steel might do it. Or more of the stuff that the Fallen use, but they'd both be too heavy. The helm and the plating are bulky enough as it is. Add any more weight and the whole ship would be at the bottom of the briny before we'd even started. I need something light. But I've racked my brains and I just can't think what would do it.
Well, if I were in need of obscure knowledge, I know whose counsel I would seek. Harpocrates.
Tomes? Yeah, well, I'd thought of that, obviously. I've got all the details written down here. Can you take this to him, see what he makes of it?
Alright.
Right away.
Let's go talk to him then.
I think Mid might need some.
Mid hasn't been.
I know this isn't the first time I've said this, but the ability to sprint or like go much faster in this area would definitely help. For some reason, I cannot sprint in this like hub area. I can only do it outside in the open fields. Not sure why that ability has been stripped of me when I'm in these areas or inside towns, but yeah.
Harpocrates, do you have a moment?
For you, Clive, always.
Well, actually, it's for Mid this time. Could you take a look at this?
Please take a look at this.
Shielding for a mithril engine? Whatever will that girl think of next? And what are these notes around the edges?
She has some specific requirements for the materials. The shielding needs to be able to resist extreme heat on the inside, and yet remain cool enough on the outside not to set the ship alight, while also being light enough not to sink it. As you can imagine, she's struggling to find anything that meets her needs.
I see.
I wondered if you might know of a solution, or if you might be able to search the records for one.
Perhaps it is not a different material she requires, but a different approach.
What do you mean?
Consider the lake we have made our home. Its blighted waters eat away far more quickly than fresh water or even brine, at timber and steel alike. And yet, we have made a home here from those very materials nonetheless.
We have. But Bardolph must varnish every board twice over to keep it from rotting. And Obelisk complains that without a constant supply of pitch. I see.
Early Gregorian histories speak of a preparation known as moon dew. It is said to be able to resist even the most ferocious flames. Before the dragoons tamed the worms and wyverns of the realm, nobles would daub their castle walls with it in order to guard against dragon fire.
So if we could recreate it...
It might be applied to some material or other in order to provide the protection Mid requires. As to how best to apply it and to what material, perhaps Bardolph and Obelisk might be of assistance. I shall speak to them and see what wisdom they might have to offer. If you would be so kind as to procure the necessary ingredients, I shall discuss the specifics of how it might be most effectively put to use with our two friends. The knowledge of the past may yet prove useful to we of the modern era.
Thank you, Hippocrates. And since you're asking others to help you, perhaps I should too.
So you need a hand, do you?
We do. I'll be heading to market for the ingredients we need. I could do with some help. And some company, too.
The other can assist me in researching how best to prepare the shielding itself.
Can we count on your aid?
Always. Well, if Jill's game.
Thank you.
I am sure either of these fine young minds would prove indispensable in my research. I leave the decision as to who will go with whom in your capable hands, Clive.
All right. Well, I guess I'm taking Jill with me then.
Shielding that guards against even the most ferocious flames. We could have done with some of on Drustinus.
I doubt I would have survived that place with or without it. A trip to Northreach, though, I think either of us could handle.
So, Clive, have you made your decision? Who will accompany you on your little excursion?
Very well. So then, what do we need to find?
I have taken the liberty of preparing a list. Here.
White chocobo eggs. Pepio nuts. Are you sure this list is right? Everything on here seems very edible. I would have thought the ingredients would be a little more exotic.
Though these items may seem mundane, they have potent effects that are rarely exploited, effects for which they were once highly prized. So much so, in fact, that they were harvested almost to extinction, hence moon dews having fallen from favor. Now, of course, they can be obtained with ease. You should be able to find everything you need at the market in Northreach.
Is that so? I've been meaning to visit Northreach anyway. I'll set out now. Join me there when you're ready.
I will. Until then.
All right.
You two enjoy yourselves.
You too, Talia.
Right, let's make our way over there then. Oh, it's right there. But that's convenient. Oh, I guess I am buying stuff from the market, so I guess that makes sense for it to be near there.
And what can I do for you?
Wait, is this the right place?
And a fine, fine day to you.
Pilchard nice and chilled.
No, it's over here.
Are those Pepio nuts?
How goes the hunt for ingredients?
I've only just started. I'm sure everything we need is somewhere amongst all these stalls, though. Why don't we split up and see? We'll take a couple of ingredients each.
All right. What am I looking for?
How about you look for the Pepio nuts and some garlic? I'll find the other things we need. We can meet by the gate when we're finished.
Pepio nuts and garlic, got it.
You'll not find a bruised pippin in them. Fresh cuts. Come and get them before the...
What can I interest you in today?
Alright, garlic. I'm just reading the description there.
I trust it's all here.
Buy, sell, or be gone. Go on, take it.
That's everything. Let's see how Jill's getting on.
What that price?
Weird how there's like purchasable items only for this one part.
Did you find everything?
I did. Here.
Alright, there you go.
Garlic and Pepio nuts. Perfect. Now all that remains is for Harpocrates to somehow turn all this into what Mid needs to keep her engine cool. But before we head back, would you walk with me a while?
Time for a bit of a heart-to-heart, I guess.
Thank you for asking me to help you today. It makes a nice change.
It does. It's good to get away from all the battle and bloodshed for once. Just being here reminds me of when we were children. Do you remember? Walking down Market Street in Rosalith, taking in the sights and smells.
How could I forget? What with Torgal's antics. Remember how his nose would prick up at the scent of sausages? He'd go racing away and we'd have to go running after him. We wouldn't catch you now, would we, boy?
Was there anything you wanted to buy for yourself while we're here?
There was, yes. Well, sort of. Molly in the kitchens told me about a place that sells particularly good pies. Thought you might like to share one with me.
I would. Thank you.
And I saw some bread. Big white cobs like the baker back in Rosalith used to make. What do you think? I thought we might get some soup to dip it in. But then I tried a slice of the butcher's dry-cured ham and it was just... oh.
You all right?
Sorry. It's just... you're right. I really do feel like a child again being here with you. Clive. Is it wrong of me to enjoy this?
No, Jill. This is how life should be. And it's how our lives will be when our work is finally done. When we can live on our own terms.
I hope so. Thank you, Clive. Well, I suppose we better be getting back. I need to give these ingredients to Harpocrates and Talia. I'll see you at the hideaway.
Take care.
I will. You too.
Alright then. Again, sorry for the lack of commentary tonight.
I wonder how Harpocrates is getting on with the moon dew. How's work on the shielding progressing, Harpocrates?
Well, very well indeed. And thanks in no small part to your kind assistance. I was just explaining to Talia how we might best go about preparing the moon dew. And now that we have all the ingredients, we may begin.
You can count on me. I've mixed more than a few mysterious concoctions in my time.
I'm sure you have. What about the shielding itself?
Work is underway, under the watchful eyes of Bardolph and Obolus.
Apparently, it'll be ready soon.
Thank you. All of you.
Right then. Jill, would you join me in the infirmary? Many hands make light work and all that.
Of course. Oh, and Clive, thank you. It was nice just being with you.
It appears our work here is almost at an end. A shame. I was enjoying playing the man of action for once. When both the shielding and the moon dew are ready, it will merely be a matter of applying the one to the other. Followed by a rigorous process of testing and retesting, of course. Perhaps someone ought to warn young Mid of that.
Leave it to me. Thank you, Harpocrates.
Alright, we have all the ingredients we need now, or all the parts. Right, let me just cash in my, what do you call it? Cash in my infamy to see if I can get anything new.
I better go and give Mid the good news then.
And then I'll go talk to Mid. I think I'll be able to get something new from this place.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you back so soon.
Right,
Your
let's see what we've got
benefactors are
here.
a generous lot.
Yeah, I've got some new things here. Ability points, 800. Desert Rose, 15, and 25 Breria clamshell. I don't know what that is, but hey, 800 points is pretty good. Ability points. Next one is fairly soon, Meteorite, and then... Ooh. I don't know what High Cleric's Medallion is, but that sounds good. And then we got that 850.
Best of luck out there, Sid.
Have I really been playing this for like an hour already? And we've done not a whole lot, to be honest with you.
I think Mid might need some help tidying up.
Sorry to keep you waiting, Mid. But you'll be pleased to know that work on the shielding is underway.
You found something for it?
In a manner of speaking, Harpocrates knew of a substance that's highly resistant to heat. A coating that should provide the protection you need. He's supervising the construction and testing of the shielding as we speak.
Brilliant! I knew you wouldn't let me down.
Don't thank me. I'm just the errand boy.
Right then, let's start working out how to bolt all these bits together. To the Black Hammer!
You know, when I got into the smithing game, I thought I'd be making swords and shields, not thermal bleeding didgeridoo-dahs.
Displacement stacks.
Didgeridoo-dahs.
Whatever you call it, I ain't putting it together in here. It's cramped enough as it is. Let's take this outside. Mid, you get all the parts lined up on the deck. I'll take care of the rest.
On my way.
Oh, and bring me the biggest hammer you can find. This is gonna require some precision walloping.
Sorry, just the way he delivered that line. This is gonna require some precision walloping. Sometime later. It didn't take long for them to make that.
It's finished! It's finally finished!
Thank fuck for that. I'll be feeling my hammer arm for weeks.
Thank you, Clive, Blackthorn, everyone. That's one down and just 3 more to go.
What?
I'm sorry.
Oh, didn't I tell you? The Enterprise has 4 mithril engines, and we'll be needing a displacement stack for each.
Oh, for fuck's sake.
Don't worry. Now they've got a finished one to work off. My gang in Canva can build the rest.
Oh, okay then.
Good luck to them, I say. Right, I'm off to get a sling for this elbow. Any other work comes in, keep it to yourselves, eh?
Don't fucking worry me like that, Mid. Jesus. Alright, well, that's that taken care of for now.
Is that the thing Tomes helped to build?
What's the matter?
Nothing. Just daydreaming. Thinking about the Enterprise sailing off over the horizon to shores unknown. Searching for a land untouched by the Blight. Just like me and my dad planned. So if the worst came to the worst and every scrap of soil in the Twins turned black, we might still have a chance. That's what she was meant to be. You see, one last chance just in case we needed it. But now she's so close to being finished, I've realized I don't want it to be that. I don't want it to be just a lifeboat for us to cling to if things get desperate. I want people to sail aboard her by choice, not from the lack of it. In a world where we're not just trying to survive, but where we can actually live.
I'm working on that. And I'll do everything I can to get you what you want.
Don't you always? All right. My mind's made up. As soon as the Enterprise is fit to sail, I'm putting her under your command. Sod our plans, I'm trusting in yours.
Are you sure about this?
Something tells me it's what my dad would have wanted.
He'd be proud of you.
You were gonna visit his grave, weren't you?
I was. And you can come too now that your little project is finished.
Right. There's just one thing I need to finish up first. Won't be a mo.
All right. I'll let Otto know you're coming. Meet us in the mess when you're ready.
Aye, aye, Captain.
I spy a chatbot. Goodbye. Right, let's speak with Otto then. Again, sorry if a whole lot of nothing's happening. Like, this is something I've noticed with this game. I like it and all, but
Mid told me she was building a
after, like, you know, a really important or, like, really big, like, set-piece part of the game happens, there's usually a lot of downtime before it starts, like, you know, ramping up toward the next thing. Like, I get why it's designed like that. Like, if you have too much, like, exciting things happening at once, you start to feel fatigued. But at the same time, I kind of stopped playing shortly after, like, defeating Kupka, so... You know, it's been a while since I last played this game, so I'm just kind of, like, you know, ready for more fighting and, like, more, like, fun stuff to happen, but we're not quite there yet, unfortunately.
Alright, Clive. Asterix. We'd finished sending half the hideaway traipsing across the twins, has she?
I'm sorry if this is boring for anyone else to watch.
Visiting her old dad's grave.
I mean, my streams are already boring enough as it is. This is certainly
quite.
not helping.
She said there was one final thing she had to take care of. I'm sure she'll be finished soon enough.
She said that? In those words?
She did, yes.
Clive? Were you born yesterday or something? There is no thing. She'll probably be halfway to Canva by now.
Mid. I might still be able to catch her.
And the running around and back and forth still continues.
Obelith, have you seen Mid?
Yep. In a boat, going that way.
Then I'm too late.
You in a hurry at all, are you? I offered to take her across, but she wouldn't wait. Just paid for a dinghy and rowed off. Oars going like the clappers. Got some life in her, ain't she? But anyway, I was on my way up to see you, as it happens. Got a letter for you. Urgent, by the sound of it. One of your uncle's men said I was to hand it to you in person, post-bleeding haste. And you're here now.
Thank you, Obelith.
Don't mention it.
Got a good selection of things on sale for you, stranger. A request for assistance. My dear boy, my journey to Kavner has been a resounding success. The friend I mentioned not only agreed to share the contents of his strongbox with us, but his considerable knowledge of the goings-on in the Free Cities, by which I learned from the endeavours of a certain young friend of yours. Though I for one believe Miss Tillerman's project to be quite the valiant enterprise, I doubt the Carnevian authorities will take kindly to the unauthorised use of the dockyards no matter how deserted. And the rumour has already reached my friend. It may not be long before the guild masters are rapping at our door. Which is why I pen you this note. I would like you to borrow your man Gav for a moon or two, and this might keep a watch on those who might mean our little fellowship ill, and warn us of any impending attack. I trust that you will give this proposal your full consideration. Your loving uncle, Gerion? I don't know how you read that part, but okay.
Trouble in Canva. Well, I'll need someone to keep an eye on Mid.
So what? Mid got us to do all the dirty work and then just sailed off into the sunset?
It, seems that way.
Well, nothing we can do about it now. But next time you plan on visiting Sid, you might want to tie her to something before you suggest it.
Ah, don't be so hard on her. Gotta admit, the dirty work was kind of fun. Everyone pitching in and all that bollocks. Just like when we built this place.
You're right.
Anyway, we all set to head to the old hideaway. I could do with getting to Canva pretty sharpish. Wouldn't do to keep Lord Rosfield of the Seven High Houses waiting now, would it? Not after he asked for me personally.
Gav will be leaving with me. Will you mind the place while we're gone?
You can count on me. Just be sure to give Sid and the others my regards. Alright.
Oh, by the way, Jill will be joining us too. She's got some things to take care of, but she'll meet us there.
I hope she's telling the truth at least.
Okay, it seems like story things happening now because I can't go anywhere else at this moment in time. Sid's legacy. The dust long settled, little remains of the once bustling refugee many called home. I'm using this popcorn PNG a lot tonight. I mean, I tend to use it a lot anyway when I'm playing this game because there's a lot of cinematics going on. There's the hammer.
Well, Sid, I remember what you told me. That if no one is listening to what you have to say, you may as well not say it. But I will say this, old friend. Hugo Kuka is gone. His shadow looms over us no longer.
It's a pity the Phoenix can't be in two places at once. If he'd have been with us, maybe he could have done something for the lost.
Not even the Phoenix can bring people back from the dead. Life has a beginning and an end. So we must live while we have the chance. And not as slaves to the crystals, but as free men.
May we join you?
Lady Karen, what a pleasant surprise.
I thought I'd drop by and see how you were all doing before heading off to restock my supplies. It wasn't the most scenic view back then, but it were never as bad as this.
I know. The Blight marches on. And soon, there'll be no escaping sights like these. So our mission remains unchanged. We cannot stop until every Mother Crystal is gone, and their thirst for ether with them. The only one that remains in Storm is Drake's Tail in the Crystalline Dominion.
Our next target.
We're going to Twinside.
It's the capital of the Empire these days. I wouldn't like to think how tightly guarded they've got the place. Not that that'll stop you, but we do well to scout it out before you go charging in.
We would indeed.
If you're off to the Dominion, you can take this great lump with you.
Goods.
Oh, I am sorry. Have you forgotten you're the most wanted man in the Twins?
I wasn't
thought you
expecting
might like
that
to
sound.
disguise yourselves as the attendants of a travelling trader, assuming you've no better ideas. You wanted to buy yourself some tools, didn't you? Well, now's your chance.
You're letting me go with them? Oh, thanks, Nan.
Stop that! You'll break me bones, you great galoot. There's a caravan that runs back and forth between the Dominion and the Bocklab markets. It's managed by the Merchants Guild. Just show them Goots' traders pass and you'll be on your way. It'll be a damn sight less risky than footing it the length of the Crystal Road. That's for sure.
Thank you, Karen. And glad to have you with us, Goot.
Okay then. I'll get me things and I'll meet yous there. See yous down in Bucklad.
Get off! Me poor fingers!
Jill, you're with me.
Understood.
And Gav,
Already on my way, Captain.
be careful.
Aren't I always?
Well, that moment was certainly the highlight of the evening.
Do you see that, Sid? Your protege's making a proper little outlaw of himself.
Right, can't go anywhere else for now. Letney's Cleft. A narrow pass through otherwise impassable mountains, thought to have been torn from rock to rock by the very gods themselves. Doggo. Onward. I think things are finally starting to happen now in terms of gameplay.
Better.
You know, besides like going back and forth talking to people and like just doing fetch
And
quests.
Torgal helped too. Didn't you, boy?
This used to be a trade route for merchants crossing the Scars, till the Republic laid a new road wide enough to let wagons pass, and all official traffic moved there.
Leaving this one for those living outside the law.
Indeed. I doubt we'll be the only outlaws on the trail today.
By the way, I chose not to stop sprinting. They're just doing that for narrative purposes. They want to make sure there's enough time to actually speak. You know, I would normally run past these enemies, but fuck it, I feel like fighting something right now. How do I do that thing again? Hang on. Okay, that's how you do the down thrusts.
Let's go.
Faster.
So what do you think?
We'd be lucky to make it out
Straight
alive.
home now.
Really? It's as bad as that? Oh, aye. There's trouble up ahead. And too much of it for us to handle.
I take it there's danger on the road.
Oh, what about this fearsome-looking fellow? You think he'd be equal to the task?
Well, no doubt. Assuming he's willing to hear us out. Well met, friend. My brother and I have been tasked with finding a merchant's missing cart. You seen it by any chance?
How does a merchant misplace his cart?
Oh, the man's a coward. When he thought goblins might come a-snarling, he ran, leaving his livelihood abandoned in the pass.
He sent the two of us to fetch it, but it's gone. Now, I'm not much of a thinker, but I know the work of thieves when I see it.
My brother's right on all accounts. And by my estimation, the bastards are lying in wait just down the road.
We may have seen our share of action, true, but we've not got the skill in arms to boldly brave an ambush.
You, however, have the look of a man who needn't fear a band of backwater ruffians. What do you say? Will you help us out? Chances are they'll come for you either way. But if you promise to lend us a hand, at least you'll pocket a reward for your troubles.
Alright.
Well, if I'm going to have to deal with them anyway.
You've clearly got a fine head on those broad shoulders.
We're lucky you came along. Now, hoping to make a heavy purse in Boklad, our merchant friend loaded his cart with as much as it would carry. Reckon he won't be forking over the rest of our fee if we don't find those goods. So, while you're seeing to those bandits, you keep your eyes open.
All right. Just don't expect me to drag the cart out of there myself.
No. You can leave the cart to us. You just put an end to those bandits and point us in the right direction. You do that, we'll take care of the rest.
Right, well, it's a good thing it's happening, like, I'm going in this general direction anyway, so I suppose I can get it done while I'm here. Oh. Ambrosia, please. There you are. Yes, run into the wall.
I'm not sure I trust those two. But if there are bandits lying in wait, I should probably take care of them.
Bye, Ambrosia.
Look lively, you lot. We've got guests.
These must be our bandits.
Give me thunder!
Nope. God, did I mention I love this mechanic?
This one.
Nope. There we go. But that was easy. Oh, feels good to do some battling after over an hour of just fucking mediocrity.
That's them dealt with. Now, where's that cart?
I don't know if said cart is in this area or if it's a bit further down. It's probably a bit further down. Yeah. There is.
Getting all of this out of here will be a nightmare.
Seems we've found ourselves the right man for the job, wouldn't you say?
Found the cart and didn't leave a single bastard breathing. Our merchant friend will be delighted.
And how exactly will he be getting his goods out of here?
You leave that to us. After all, it'd be wrong to make such a fine warrior haul cabbages to market.
You've done your part. And that's all you need to worry about. Here,
Well, that seemed too easy, but yeah. Thank you, I guess.
It's been a pleasure. Now piss off.
There's no
okay.
need to be so rude, brother. What if we want his help again next time?
Yeah, I don't know how to feel about these two, but okay. I mean, I got the favor done, so whatever. I'll take my reward and leave. Alright, let's continue then.
Ready, go? Fly, Ambrosia.
I see the Dalmex lag behind Rosaria when it comes to bridge building.
The fallen ruin should hold, at least. The path continues on the other side.
Ugh. The final sin.
So this is Zemeckis.
The land of the gods. It's even more impressive than I imagined. I remember being captivated by the story as a child.
Long, long ago, man was overcome by avarice and challenged the gods in a bid to win their power. The final battle took place here, at these falls. Or so the legend goes. If anyone ever manages to plumb those depths, perhaps we'll learn if there's any truth to the tale.
That the gods emerged victorious and punished man for his defiance by visiting upon him 2 curses.
Dominants and bearers. To tell the truth, I always thought it strange that the dominants and their icons were deemed a curse. Back home, the dominant inherited the throne. They were admired and exalted, not spurned. Whenever I got to that part of the story, I always assumed there must be something I'd misunderstood.
You had a lot of storybooks, didn't you? In your room, I mean. When we were young.
The old legends were always my favorites. Epic battles between gods and men. Father encouraged me to read as much as I could. He thought it good for my education.
You really were a boy like any other, weren't you?
Just look at this place. It's enough to make you believe the legends are true.
I know.
We're not far from Boklad. The road will be busier up ahead.
Then we'll have to keep our wits about us. Clive? Something wrong?
Nothing. It's nothing.
Hey there, Koban.
I see the reports are true, Father. You have surrendered the throne to Olivier.
I have. Emperor Olivier
shall rebuild the Holy Empire of Sanbreque.
How is he to rule an empire? He is but a boy.
I shall advise him until he comes of age.
Father, please.
Or for as long as I am able. The empire we seek to build needs young blood to rule it, and I can think of none better suited to the task. There is other news, Dion. Hugo Kupka is dead, and Drake's Fang destroyed. The pillars of the Republic have fallen. Ere long, the Imperial banner shall fly over every city in Storm. And then, Valisthea. All shall bow before their Emperor.
Father, these are the words of a tyrant.
They are the words of a god. The Emperor whom I gladly serve. Great Greeker, made flesh. Return to your camp, Dion, and ready your forces. It is time to show the world the true power of Sanbreque.
Father. I find you much changed. Is this truly the path you wish to tread? Or are these the ambitions of another? Of Ultima, perhaps?
What nonsense is this? I speak my mind, and my mind only. Though I do owe Annabella thanks for reminding me of certain truths regarding the nature of nations, of rulers, and of the divine.
You would trust the words of this traitress? She betrayed her country. She slew her husband.
You have ever been an invaluable servant to Sanbreque, Prince Dion. I trust you will continue to serve your Emperor in the wars to come.
The canker! Silence! Insolent wretch! You will bend the knee. All else is heresy.
Sire, forgive me.
This audience is over. Come, your Radiance. The Rowena Syndicate awaits your pleasure.
Oh, not another meeting with silly old men. They're so boring. I'm hungry, Father. Can't we have luncheon instead?
Does it pain you that you will not inherit your father's throne?
I have suffered worse.
Count your blessings, Dion. For a base-born child to be chosen by Bahamut is miracle enough. You have risen high on his wings, but you shall rise no higher, lest your impure blood stain the throne.
What do you know of my blood?
Yeah, I think there's going to be a little bit of betrayal going on in the near future. Right, so I won't be playing this for too much longer tonight, but I can maybe spend another 15-20 minutes.
We just need to hug the coast.
So So yeah, sorry if tonight's session is a little bit underwhelming compared to the last session. I don't have much more energy in me to stream tonight, so yeah. I'd say another 15-20 minutes of this and then I'm gonna call it. So let's see, what direction am I going in? Oops, wrong thing. How many hours have you spent playing this? You know, I'm not actually sure. Hang on a minute. I will get you that answer momentarily once I get my playlist up. Because I can get the total just by looking at my playlist, and then I can, you know, add that to tonight's playthrough. Let's see. Videos. One moment, please. Right, so according to my playlist, I have played the game for roughly 29.5 hours. Counting tonight's session, that's like about an extra 2 hours, so just over 30 hours at this point. I don't know how long this game is, maybe it's like 50 to 60 hours, so I think I'm roughly halfway through the game at this point. Let's see. Republican Gate, and, well, my destination's way over there.
Infiltrating
Oops.
Dominion won't be easy with the Imperials on high alert.
No. His Radiance has lost one capital already. We can be sure Sylvester will do everything in his power to hold on to Twinside. His troops are well-trained and increasingly battle-hardened. But it's not as if we can wait for the siege to end.
This location's really nice looking. It would be good for a photo op for my thumbnails or whatever, but there was one cutscene that I saw earlier which I think is going to be the thumbnail for this part. So I don't need to worry too much about that.
Come on.
Right, let's head to our destination then.
Thanks, Gal.
Farewell. You're finished.
Oops. Yeah, you want to come down here real quick? That would be lovely. There we go. Yeah, get fucked.
Let's go. More refugees.
And they're all making for the crystalline Dominion.
Because they don't know how to live without the crystal's blessing.
You're finished.
At least I'm getting a little bit of battle in tonight, although that's not saying much because most of it has been, you know, non-battling. But yeah, I have a feeling, even though I'm going to be ending the stream very, very shortly, I think next time we'll definitely get a very healthy dose of, like, combat in this game.
There are no crystals here. This is where we're supposed to meet Goots, isn't it?
That's right. He said he'd wait for us here after replenishing his supplies. I dare say he'll have finished by now.
At the best price.
What do you think, girl?
I notice there's a lot of chocobo around here, which is cool.
This is everything.
Let me carry your goods. I'm cheap.
Oh, quick travel point, nice.
What are you looking for?
Enhancer? I mean, it's more damage, but not that much. Probably not a good trade-off if I'm losing the other thing. Whatever that was called again. Stun damage or something. That's a new song. Again, not worth the money. Oh yeah, I should sell my, you know, stuff that I don't need. What was it again? Hang on. I forgot which ones are the ones that you get money for. Okay, here it is. This, so Gilbug. So from Gilbug to Empty Shard, all this stuff I can sell for money. Got it. There's no reason to keep this. And then Gilbug. We get a lot of money for that.
You're sure you don't need it? Just what I was looking for. Thank you. Just what I was looking for.
Alright.
You're welcome anytime.
Been meaning to sell that stuff for a while, to be honest.
My sight, wretch.
I'm guessing Goats is up here.
Wonders from across the water. Come one, come all. Feast your eyes. Good sir, can I interest you in...
How much? For a measly crust of bread?
You won't find any cheaper. Not nowadays. But you're more than welcome to look.
The Empire's unlawful and illegitimate occupation of the crystalline dominion is still in effect. Only those whose business in Twinside has been officially approved by the Republican Army will be permitted to cross the border. All who seek entry are to form a line and ready their documents for inspection.
Looks like we aren't the only ones who are eager to leave.
And they're checking everyone.
Can't you make an
Not
exception?
for the likes of you.
We won't get through without that pass. Let's go in and find Good, shall we? He must be around here somewhere.
You won't find anything of this quality in Twinside.
Should be around here. There he is.
Ah, Good. There you are.
Clive, I'm so sorry. Don't tell Nan, will you?
Slow down, Good. Just tell us what happened.
It's me trader's pass. It's gone. We cannot ride the caravan without it. We won't even be able to get through the flipping checkpoint.
Do you remember when you last saw it?
It was in my pocket a minute ago. Then a bairn bumped into me and... Yeah. You don't think that they might have nicked it, do you?
It wouldn't surprise me. A busy market like this is prime territory for pickpockets.
So, to get the pass back, we need to find this child.
Where would we even start?
I know where! I've got a pal in Bocklad who might be able to help us. No one knows more about what goes on round here than she does.
Where do we find her?
She's the owner of the Crimson Caravans, up that way. Sign's got a red chocobo on it.
No time like the present.
You two go on ahead. I'm gonna check the rest of my stuff, make sure naught else is missing.
All right. We'll meet you there.
Right, so I think this will be the last thing I do for tonight. I'll go get this pass back and then we can stop.
Red chocobo, then.
And the other on our purses.
Next to the checkpoint.
There's the red chocobo sign.
Looking to hire a coach? It's 10 million for a two-birder to the Crystalline Dominion. Take it or leave it.
Oh, we're not here for that.
Then I bid you good day.
Oh, wait! Don't go, El! He's me mate.
As I live and breathe. Goots, what are you doing back in Bocklad? I gather Lady Karen didn't send you. So what trouble have you got yourself into this time?
It's me trader's pass. It got stolen. By a little bairn.
Of all the... You're the size of a marble. Honestly. Ugh.
Goots told us that you know the markets well. Might you have an idea which little bairn could have done this?
We don't intend to punish them. We just need our pass back. Then, we can be on our way.
I see. So neither of you has a trader's pass either. Not that anyone would take you for traders, but I suppose that's why you came to me, correct? Now, I can't say for sure who took your pass, but I suspect I know why they did it. Let me explain. Ever since the Fist marched on the Dominion, the Republic has been clamping down on any commerce that might aid the Empire more than it does us. Which means traders' passes have gone from being merely a way of easing one's progress to being essential if one wishes to cross the border at all. And with demand outstripping supply, they've become a precious commodity, leading some to seek to acquire them by less than legitimate means.
So the children are stealing passes to sell on the black market?
Yes and no. Passes are inscribed with the names of their owners, and yet none of the victims' names have appeared on the register of those passing through the checkpoint.
Which means?
That someone is doctoring the stolen passes. The same someone who is encouraging the children to steal them. And the same someone who has Goots' pass, no doubt. Whoever they are, they're ruining the livelihoods of honest merchants, which is why we've decided to take a stand. Will you stand with us? You want to get your pass back, and we want to ensure that no more are stolen. Catch whoever's behind it all, and two birds shall be slain with a single stone.
Is there any other way of getting to the Crystalline Dominion, Goots?
They won't let you in if you're not with the caravan. It's that, I don't know, try swimming across the strait. But the guards will definitely spot you if you try and do that. Like, we don't want to get spotted, right?
So either we find the people who took the pass, or give up all hope of entering the Dominion.
All right. We'll help.
Thank you kindly. But I don't know your name. Eloise at your service.
Clive.
A pleasure doing business with you, Clive. The proprietor of the furniture makers by the coach stop is spearheading the search. Wear that, and he will know you for a friend. I suggest that you speak with him first.
The furniture makers. Understood.
I don't know how long this quest is going to take, but hopefully it won't be, you know, too much longer than like 10-15 minutes. I'll just play for now, and if it starts to exceed that time, I'm just going to stop where I stand.
Come on, come on!
Jug of snake spit for the road?
Juicy pears! Slake your thirst with...
Are you the furniture maker?
Looking for something in particular? Ah, Eloise collared you too, eh? Then I expect you want to know more.
She told me you were leading the hunt for the pickpockets. What have you learned?
For one, that they're targeting the traders carrying the biggest packs. Harder to watch your back, see? And less chance of the mark giving chase if they're spotted. Not that they'd be likely to catch them. Those imps know every inch of this warren like the backs of their hands.
Their eyes must have lit up when they saw Goots.
The fishmonger round by the gate's been trying to track down the children involved. You should go and have a word with her.
Thank you. We will.
You won't find anything of this quality in Twinside.
You should come with me to the Dominion.
Fish for sale! Fresh sorted and smoked! Can I interest you?
I'm sorry, I have to do this now.
Fresh fish! We catch them, you buy them!
Ah, sorry. Message from Eloise, is it?
She's asked me to help her. To help you find the pickpockets.
Is that so? Suppose I better tell you what I know, then. For one, this isn't a family operation. All the traders say the children who stole their passes were dirty, dressed in rags. Street urchins, by the sound of it. We get a lot around here.
Orphans from the wars.
A few, perhaps. You saw the refugees gathered by the entranceway? They're all looking for a new start in the Dominion and beyond. Some of them take it as an opportunity to rid themselves of unwanted baggage.
The shame of it.
Whoever's behind this would have to have made themselves known to the children at some point.
And so should we.
You should start with the children around here, then. I doubt they're the ones involved, but they might have heard something.
It's worth a try.
All right, then. Questioning children. How hard can that be?
You won't find anything of this quality in Twinside.
Yeah, we're doing one of these things again. We're just going back and forth talking to people until we figure out where to go.
Do you have a moment?
Not my favourite part of the game, to be honest.
What I want is to know who's asking children like you to pick pockets.
I don't know. Nobody's asked me. What's picking pockets? Do you get paid for it?
No, you get in trouble for it. So if they come calling, you know what to tell them.
I feel like that kid is just playing dumb.
The caravan stops next to the checkpoint. Jug of snake spit for the road.
Excuse me?
What do you want? I don't have any money.
It's all right. We're not going to hurt you. We just want to talk.
What about?
We've heard that some very bad people are making children like you steal from travelers. We need to know who's behind it so we can stop them.
I don't know much about it, really. But my friend, Honza, he said he got a job doing something dangerous.
Sounds promising.
We need to find him and ask.
Do you know where your friend might be?
He's usually by the tents outside town.
Thank you. You've been very helpful.
Right, at least we got a lead now.
Ambrosia won't help me here. Not here.
Peaches and pears.
Let me carry your goods. I'm cheap.
Cannot summon Ambrosia here, so just have to like walk over here.
She must have meant the refugee camp.
Let's hope he's still nearby.
I'm guessing one of these three.
That big fat donkey was easy pickings. He wouldn't have noticed if we robbed his boots off him.
Yeah. Wish we hadn't handed over the pass, though. Could use one of those things to get out of this dump.
Chance would be a fine thing. The moment they found out, they'd string us up by our guts.
Would they now? Perhaps you'd like to introduce us to these charming characters.
Shit, we're in trouble now.
What do we do?
You two get caught if you want. I'm off.
Hunter, where are you going?
So that was Hunter, eh? Jill, you watch these two. I'm going after him.
All right.
Time for a Shinju style QTE chase sequence.
I need to find him before his
I wish.
do.
But wouldn't that be fucking great if something like that were to happen?
Did you see a boy run past? He stole something from a friend of mine.
There was a boy ran back there towards the chocobo pen, but...
Thank you.
Over here? Question mark? There you are.
Oh, shit. I'm cornered.
It's all right, Hunter. I'm not going to hurt you.
Says the guy brandishing a giant ass
I
sword.
just want to ask you some questions.
Fine. Not like I've got a choice.
I'm looking for the people who are making you steal for them. Who are they?
Call themselves the Carstones. They said they'd give me good gill if I did what they told me. I knew they were bad, but bread doesn't come for free. Didn't come at all half the time, before I started buzzing for them. You know, if I didn't do it, they'd just pick on someone else. Someone they could push around easier.
Hunter.
You found him then?
Jill. Where are the other two?
Eloise is watching over them. She sent Goots and I to look for you.
You're... him!
I haven't got your pass anymore, if that's what you're after. I gave it to the Carstones. Whatever you do to me, I can't get it back. Not that I go against them anyway. If it weren't for their gill, me and my mates would have starved.
Torgal senses danger.
Cowards. You will not force another child to do your bidding.
Wait, we're not...
Uh-oh. Misunderstanding.
Don't hurt him.
You're making a mistake. We're on the same side.
Like hell we are. That brooch. Where did you get it?
Master Theo?
Goots. What are you doing with these people? Unless you're the ones my sister was talking about.
Your sister? Eloise didn't tell us she had a brother.
And why would she? I'm just her back and a blade. Theodore, at your service. Sorry about before.
Theodore, what do you know of the cast stones?
Vultures who have made Boklad their hunting ground. They prey on the desperate, stealing from those with gil and bullying those without it into joining their flock. I'd been looking into their activities in hope of sparing the refugees any further hardship. But it seems they've already stooped even lower than I'd feared. Hans is a good lad. Don't blame him for what they've made him do. If he and his friends hadn't agreed to work for the stones, some other poor souls would have. On pain of death, most likely. Clive, was it? And my sisters asked you to help put an end to the pickpocketing. Then we all want the same thing.
All right.
Oh, where is it?
Where is it? Right, okay then, as much as I want to continue pursuing, you know, these, like, guys, the Castones, I think they called them, I'm gonna stop here for now. I'm starting to feel a bit low energy. Like, I've been streaming for just over 4 hours at this point. Usually I go for a bit longer, but yeah, I think I'm just gonna call it here, if that's okay with you guys. I'll do a more substantial session of this next time to make up for it. I'm sure there'll be plenty more gameplay and combat to go with that as well. So yeah, that's going to do it for Final Fantasy XVI tonight. Again, sorry for the relatively short session. We will make up for it with a bigger session sometime in the coming weeks, so yeah.